Guys, this is pretty crazy. I've got huge news. Open source models are finally catching up to the frontier models. Moonshop AI just released their own AI model, Kimi K3, and it's fully open source and it's massive. Just to be clear, get this. They are on par, they are on level with the huge frontier models like GPT 5.6 Soul and Fable 5. I think this model is really intelligent and the performance is really good. In this video, we'll be going through all the exciting and impressive things that it can do, where and how to use it, then we'll be going over the pricing, cost, and the benchmarks. So let's get right into it. There are a few ways to use Kimi K3, and the first one would be to go straight up to kimi.com and just use the chat interface like you would do for OpenAI's ChatGPT or for Claude, and just chat with it. Another way to use Kimi K3 would be through an agentic harness, and I think this would be the best way to use Kimi K3 or any other frontier models. And we can use it from either their terminal, just like how we have Codex or Claude Code, just like that Kimi Code. And we can even use it with an IDE using VS Code, and we can also see there's different pricing options here. So I mentioned about the IDE, and we can use it on Visual Code. Simply come up to your Visual Code, go to extensions, then you can search up for Kimi Code, simply hit install from there, and then soon you should be having a login screen where you can put up your details and then have a chat-like interface where you can work on your project. Look at this. This is just a phenomenal piece of grand piano. Look at the keys. Even after zooming in and playing, look at the details inside. Also look at how well it's designed and animated properly from the inside, each and every part of it. And there's also a demo button. Let's see what it sounds like. Now that was really cool and insane. So we can see there's also an explode button. So you can see all the parts coming in and out. There's also a slider which we can move. And the best part is all of this just took, I think, 2 prompts to produce all of this. The sound quality and everything was just perfect on this one. Next up, we have this first-person shooting game. What I could see, I know I'm walking pretty slow in this. I couldn't get used to the controls. It was a bit messy. But look at the details around the surroundings and everything. It was overall a bit smooth, and the shooting experience was also nice. The kills got registered. I saw when the ammo ran out and everything was good. Just the texture and all of it. And for this to come out from 1 prompt, I think it was a pretty big deal. It was pretty enjoyable in my experience. So this is another use case. This is the prompt from the most recent NVIDIA quarter financial report. Create a video summarizing blah blah blah. Use hyperframes to create the animation, and given it the GitHub Hygens hyperframe folder, and it should be 16:9 and all of those things. Gave it all, and also gave it an example of how to use the Gemini text to speech. And you can just run this, and you'll also have to give out your API key.
NVIDIA just posted a record quarter, $81.6 billion in revenue, up 85% from a year ago. Revenue has climbed 8 straight quarters, from $44 billion to nearly $82, and the growth rate is re-accelerating, not slowing. The engine is the data center, $75.2 billion, up 92%. Within it, networking revenue nearly tripled. Beyond the data center, edge computing, gaming, robotics, automotive added $6.4 billion, up 29%. Profitability is just as striking. Gross margin recovered to 75%, and adjusted earnings per share of $1.87 are up 140%. The cash machine is real. Nearly $49 billion in free cash flow. $20 billion went back to shareholders, with $80 billion more in buybacks authorized. And the outlook? Next quarter's guidance is $91 billion, above Wall Street expectations, and it assumes 0 data center compute sales to China. The takeaway? A record quarter. Demand still accelerating, and NVIDIA says the AI build-out is just getting started.
Overall, this was very impressive. It got the numbers right, and it also got the animation good. It not only just made presentation slides, but an entire presentation video with all the animation. It had voiceover as well, and the graphs moving up and down. So it was a good video. And also just to note that this does burn a lot of tokens, a lot. Here's another example we'll look at, but this time to make a proper video. We're gonna ask it to make it like a Tarantino movie sort of trailer. And here's the prompt if anyone wants to have a look at it. And let's see how it does.
You gonna eat that? It's the last slice. I know what it is.
You boys want a refill?
We're deciding something.
Pie gets cold while you decide.
We'll split.
That wasn't half bad. It got it pretty well, I think. So the next one would be to make a 3D device in three.js, and let's see how that goes. Alright, looks pretty decent. Looks pretty nice actually. Let's look at it from the top. All the colors, everything looks pretty clear. All the numbers are readable from all the angles. Looks pretty clean overall, not gonna lie, it has done a pretty good job. Now let's see the functionality. Okay, so if I rotate it, can rotate it up and down. That's good. Let's see the switch. Okay, so this switch works as well. Okay, let's try the other one. Okay, this, I'm not sure what it's doing. Reducing it? I don't know. Alright, the third one. Okay, so all of them seem to work, and the theme changes as well. I think it changes its colors. Okay, this is a pretty cool feature to have as well. And I think, yeah, that's the reset button. Alright, overall, I really like the look of it. Looks pretty nice. We've got a small slider for backlight as well. So now the next one, let's try. Gonna try building a landing page for a product, and let's keep the watch in three.js since it's about a watch. And let's see how it does. Okay, so the dial looks pretty good. Okay, this is not that bad. Let's see. Okay, the zooming in, because I'm not really using a mouse, it's taking a bit of time and it's a bit stiffy, but it's alright. Other than that, I think it looks pretty decent. Look at the rest of the landing page. Okay, the scrolling feels nice. Feels like a premium object, premium product. Did a good job on this one as well. So now let's try the deep research, how it does. So let's try with this prompt, analyze the mechanisms of this propagation in Alzheimer's disease. There's going to be a specific problem and it's going to be a complex one. Let's see how it does. So I know that the other frontiers models can also do a deep research like this has been doing, but also it's a thing to note that GPT 5.6 Soul or the other models tend to be short and concise. Alright, so it's here. Let's see how this one does. So there's an executive summary, all the headings, and the content looks fine. It has given the citations and diagrams, so it has properly called the tools needed to make the diagrams and tables and all of those things. So you can see there's actually a table and it's done a good job with the graphs as well. And yeah, let's scroll a bit more. You can see it has explained the figures very neatly. Again, there's another table and a graph as seen. Alright, so this seems fine. This actually did a good job. It has pulled all the relevant resources from the scientific explanations. Good job. Alright, so these were a few examples of using Kimi K3, and overall I think it did really well, and it goes neck to neck with Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 Soul. I think in all terms of aspects, it has done fairly well, and for sure I think it rates better than Claude's Opus 4.8. It's also so good at longer tasks and deep research like we saw. It was good at video production, and it's so good at creating things like games and everything. So now let's go over the pricing, specs, and all of the other things that we have. So Kimi K3 is an open source model that we already know, and it is a massive 2.8 trillion parameter model, and it's built directly over Kimi delta attention and attention residuals. So obviously this has been called open source, but the weight models will only be releasing on the 27th of this month, 27th of July, and it also has a 1 million token context window, which means we have enough room for information along with the prompt. That's roughly around 700,000 words. And it's world's first open source 3 trillion class model as well. This means that it'll be able to store more information about you, and also like other frontier models, this is all good for long horizon coding, knowledge work, or reasoning works. And as we have seen how good it is at designing things like games or just some 3D models and all sorts of things. Now here are some really interesting benchmarks. So the first one we've got is by DeepSuite, and that's how good an AI model is at doing software engineering tasks. And we can see how Kimi K3 is listed third here, which is really good. It's not miles apart, but it's so close to Fable 5 and GPT 5.6. We can see Terminal Bench lists second. In Frontier Suite, it's actually second again, and it's very close to Fable 5. And we can say that for the other benchmarks as well, that it's actually the first one for Program Bench. And all of this just shows how strong Kimi K3 actually is, and it can be. Now this one is for Agentic Workbench, and we can see that Kimi K3 does well here as well. It's neck to neck with Fable 5 and GPT 5.6. So I think it's done a really good job. One thing to also notice is that this model, Kimi K3, is really cost efficient when you compare it to any of the Opus or Fable 5 or any of the GPT models. So essentially this should be the one that you're using if you're looking at the cost per task, and it does really excel in that area. Here's another example of how it does in 3D modeling, and this just really shows how good it is at interactive experiences or video games development. And I think this is the best model out there if you are into video game creation or things like that. And also I think that the visuals are way better than I've seen Claude do or ChatGPT. If you have a quick look at this leaderboard by Artificial Analysis Intelligence, you can see that Kimi K3 is actually so close right behind Fable 5 and GPT 5.6, just by a few points. It also looks like it has done better than the previous open source model, which was GLM 5.2, and it's also cost efficient more than Fable 5 and GPT. I've also gone over the hallucination rates and I found out that GPT 5.6 actually hallucinates the most, and after that comes Claude's Fable, and then comes Kimi K3. So Kimi K3 is the one that hallucinates the least, and that's the clear winner in terms of hallucination as well. Also, if we look at the Code Arena's leaderboard for web development for the front end, we can see Kimi K3 leads here as well. Claude's Fable 5 is right behind it, along with GPT 5.6 behind that as well. And when we look at the price, again, it's lesser than both of them. So that is my review on Kimi K3. I think it's one of the best AI models that is out there, and it's the most cost efficient, less hallucination rate, and also they're gonna open source it soon. So I don't know if it can get any better. And it's just so funny because a few weeks ago, the US government had banned access to Fable 5 and everything. And now China has released something like Kimi K3, which is almost the same on its intelligence level and the stuff that it can do. And it'll be fully open source, so anyone can use it. It's just so crazy.